The gunshot tears through frozen air. Snow explodes from tree bark 3 feet above Evelyn March's head. She doesn't stop running. Can't stop. Her boots sink deep into powder with each desperate step slowing her down, pulling her back like hands reaching up from hell itself. Behind her hoofbeats, getting closer, her lungs burn. The cold air feels like knives going down her throat. She's 32 years old and she's never run this hard in her life, not when Thomas came home drunk, not when he raised his fists, not even the night she killed him. But she's running now. Stop running, Mrs. March. The voice belongs to a man she's never met, a man who showed up at her door 3 hours ago asking questions she couldn't answer, questions about gold, about her husband, about things buried that should stay buried. She told him to leave. He refused. His partner drew a gun. And Evelyn did what she's learned to do in the 3 months since Thomas died. She ran. Another shot. This one closer. The bullet hums past her ear like an angry wasp. Evelyn cuts left, plunging deeper into the pine forest. Branches claw at her face. Her dress catches on deadfall. She yanks it free, hears fabric tear, keeps moving. The hoofbeats slow. The riders are having trouble in the deep snow. Good. She knows these woods. Walked them every day for 6 years, first as Thomas's wife, then as his widow. The men chasing her don't know where the ground drops off, don't know where the frozen creek hides under innocent-looking snow. She does. Evelyn veers right, following a deer trail she's memorized. Her breath comes in ragged gasps. White clouds hang in the air behind her like ghosts. Her hands are numb. She left the cabin without gloves, without a coat. Just ran. Stupid. Careless. Thomas would have called her weak for it. Thomas isn't here anymore. The thought gives her strength. She pushes harder legs, pumping heart, hammering against her ribs. Just a little further, just past the big pine with the lightning scar. Then she can circle back to the cabin, grab her rifle, barricade the door, or maybe just keep running. Keep going until she reaches the next town, the next territory. Somewhere Thomas's name means nothing, and his debts aren't hers. We just want to talk, liar. She's seen what men like this do when they want to talk. She has the scars to prove it. Her foot catches on something hidden beneath the snow, a root, a rock. Doesn't matter. She's falling, hands out, hitting hard. The impact drives air from her lungs. Snow fills her mouth. Cold burns her face. Get up, get up, get up, get up. She rolls over, pushes to her knees, reaches for the small rifle she's been carrying. Her fingers close on empty air. The gun. Where's the gun? She spots it 10 feet away, half buried in a snowdrift. Might as well be 10 miles. The hoofbeats are right behind her now. She lunges for the rifle anyway, fingers stretching. Almost there. A boot comes down on her hand. Pain explodes up her arm. Evelyn cries out, tries to pull free. The boot presses harder, grinding her fingers into frozen earth beneath the snow. She looks up. The man is tall, lean, maybe 40. His face is weathered like old leather eyes, hard as creek stones in January. He's holding a revolver pointed at her head. Where's the gold widow? Evelyn's breathing hard, too hard to speak. She just shakes her head. The second man rides up. Younger, meaner looking. He's bleeding from somewhere under his coat, but she doesn't remember shooting him. Maybe she did. The last hour is a blur of fear and noise. Answer the question, Mrs. March. The first man's voice is quiet, patient. That makes it worse somehow. Your husband stole $5,000 in gold dust from the Helena mine. We know he brought it home before he died. We know you have it. I don't. The words scrape out of her throat. I don't know anything about gold. Your husband died 3 months ago. You telling me he never mentioned it. My husband died of pneumonia. The lie comes easy now. She's told it so many times it almost feels true. There was no gold, no robbery, nothing. The man studies her face, looking for cracks in her story, looking for weakness. Then you won't mind if we search your cabin. Yes, I will mind. That's my home. You got no right. We got the right of men who've been stolen from. He pulls his boot off her hand. Evelyn jerks it back, cradling crushed fingers against her chest. Now here's what's going to happen. You're going to take us back to your cabin. You're going to show us where Thomas hid the gold. And then we're going to leave. Nice and peaceful. Understand? Evelyn stares up at him, at the gun. At the cold certainty in his eyes, she understands perfectly. These men don't care about nice and peaceful. They'll tear her cabin apart board by board. And when they find what Thomas hid, when they find the evidence of what he really was, what he really did, they won't leave her alive to tell about it. She has to do something, has to fight, has to... The gunshot comes from somewhere to her left. The younger man jerks backward in his saddle. His horse screams. Blood blooms across his shoulder, dark against his coat. He topples sideways, hits the snow hard, and lies still. For a moment, nobody moves. Then the tall man spins, bringing his gun around, searching for the shooter. "Show yourself." Silence. Just wind in the pines. Just Evelyn's ragged breathing and the wounded man's groans. Then a voice. Deep, rough, like gravel sliding down a riverbank. The lady said no. Evelyn's eyes tracked to the source. 30 yards away, standing in the shadow of a lightning-scarred pine, there's a man. He's tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a long coat dark with trail dust and weather. His hat sits low, hiding most of his face, but she can see his hands. They're steady on a rifle that's pointed right at the tall man's chest. "Who the hell are you?" The tall man keeps his revolver up, but his eyes are darting, calculating odds. "Nobody. Passing through." The stranger's voice carries easy across the snow. No strain, no fear. "Heard gunshots. Came to see. Didn't like what I saw. This ain't your business. You're pointing a gun at a woman. That makes it my business." The tall man's jaw works. He's thinking, weighing options. His partner is down, bleeding. The stranger has the high ground and a rifle. Bad odds. "This isn't over, widow," he says finally, still looking at Evelyn. "We'll be back. I'll be here," the stranger says. His rifle doesn't waver. Waiting. The tall man holsters his gun. Slow. Deliberate. Then he bends down, grabs his partner by the coat and hauls him up. The wounded man screams. The tall man doesn't care. He throws his partner over the saddle like a sack of grain, mounts his own horse, and rides off, leading the wounded man's horse behind him. The sound of hoofbeats fades into the forest, fades into nothing. Silence. Evelyn stays on her knees in the snow. Her hand throbs. Her lungs ache. She should say something, should thank the stranger, should do anything except kneel here, shaking like a newborn calf. But she can't move, can't speak. The fear that drove her through the woods is draining away, and there's nothing left to fill the space it occupied. Just cold. Just exhaustion. Just the awful understanding that those men will come back, and next time there might not be a stranger with a rifle to save her. Footsteps crunch through snow. The stranger approaches, stops about 6 feet away, close enough to help, far enough to not be threatening. "You hit." Evelyn shakes her head, manages to find her voice. "No." "Good." He's older than she thought, mid-30s maybe. His face is all hard angles and old scars. There's a particularly nasty one running from his left cheekbone down to his jaw. His eyes are blue, the cold blue of deep water. They sweep over her with the practiced efficiency of someone who's learned to assess threats quickly. He must not find one. He lowers the rifle. Evelyn finally manages to stand. Her legs shake. She braces herself against a tree trunk, trying to look steadier than she feels. Her rifle is still half buried in snow. The stranger glances at it, but doesn't move to pick it up, leaving it for her, letting her make that choice. She appreciates that more than he could know. "Who are you?" The question comes out sharper than she intended. Fear makes her voice hard. "Just passing through." He tilts his head toward the direction the riders disappeared. "Those men, they'll come back. I know. Probably with more friends. I know." He nods, studies her a moment longer, then turns to leave. "Wait." He stops, doesn't turn around. Evelyn's mind races. She should let him go, should thank him and send him on his way and pray those men don't come back before she can figure out what to do with the gold, with Thomas's journal, with all the evidence she's been hiding under her bedroom floor. But if they do come back, if they bring more men, like the tall one said, she won't survive it alone. And there's something about this stranger, the way he held that rifle, the way he stood his ground without hesitation, the way he called her a lady instead of a woman. He's dangerous, she can see that. But maybe she needs dangerous right now. "Those men," she says. "They'll be back. You're right about that. Probably tomorrow. Maybe with the sheriff." Why would they bring the sheriff if they're looking for stolen gold? Smart. He thinks like someone who's dealt with men on the wrong side of the law before. Maybe he's been on that side himself. "I don't know," Evelyn lies, "but I know they won't stop." "Then you should leave. Go somewhere else." "This is my home. I got nowhere else to go." That's not entirely true. She has a sister in Colorado, but she hasn't seen her in 6 years and wouldn't know what to say if she showed up now. Wouldn't know how to explain Thomas. Wouldn't know how to explain anything. The stranger turns around now, looks at her full on. His eyes find the bruises on her face. Old ones, faded but still visible if you know what to look for. His expression doesn't change, but something shifts behind his eyes. "I need help." The words taste like ash in her mouth. Evelyn March hasn't asked anyone for help since she was 16 years old and learned that help always comes with a price. "Just for a few days, until I can figure out what to do. I don't hire out. I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you to stay. Just for a while. I can pay. Not much. But I got food. Shelter. It's cold. You look like you've been riding hard." He does. His coat is caked with mud and old snow. His horse tied somewhere back in the trees is probably exhausted. Nobody rides this far into Montana territory in late autumn unless they're running from something or toward it. The stranger's quiet for a long time. So long, Evelyn starts to think he'll refuse. Then finally he speaks. "One night. Then I'm gone." It's not what she needs, but it's better than nothing. She nods, bends down to retrieve her rifle from the snow. Her hand screams in protest, but she doesn't let it show. Can't show weakness, not now. "I'm Evelyn. Evelyn March." The stranger's jaw tightens at the name. Just slightly. Just enough for someone watching closely to notice. Evelyn's watching closely. Has to. Survival depends on reading people, on seeing the small tells that reveal truth beneath words. But she doesn't know what that reaction means. Doesn't know if he recognizes Thomas's name or just doesn't care for small talk. "Cade," he says finally. "Cade, what?" "Just Cade." "Fair enough. She's got secrets too." "Well, just Cade. My cabin's a mile that way. Think you can follow without those men seeing you?" Something that might be a smile touches his mouth. Doesn't reach his eyes. "I've had practice." They walk in silence. Evelyn leads. Cade follows about 10 paces behind, close enough to help if she falls, far enough that she doesn't feel crowded. She appreciates that too. The woods are quiet except for wind in the high branches. Snow falls in lazy spirals, catching in Evelyn's hair, melting against her neck. Her hand has gone from screaming pain to dull throb. Probably nothing broken, just bruised. She's had worse, much worse. Her mind drifts while she walks, back to this morning when everything was normal, or what passes for normal these days. She woke up early, made coffee, fed the chickens, sat at the kitchen table pretending Thomas might walk through the door any minute asking what's for breakfast, except he won't, because he's dead, because she killed him. 3 months ago, Thomas came home drunk and mean, meaner than usual, started asking her about money, about where she'd hidden his stake. She told him she didn't know what he was talking about. He hit her, called her a liar, said she must think he's stupid. That was his mistake, thinking she'd learned to be afraid enough to tell him the truth. Evelyn had learned fear. 6 years of marriage to Thomas March taught her all about fear. But it also taught her patience, taught her to wait, taught her that the man who hits you tonight might pass out drunk by morning, and that's when you move. That's when you take the knife from the kitchen. That's when you follow him to the bedroom. That's when you do what needs doing. She told the neighbors he died of pneumonia. Quick onset. Winter sickness. Tragic but not unusual. They believed her, or pretended to. Either way, nobody asked to see the body. Nobody wondered why she buried him so fast. Nobody offered to help dig the grave, because Thomas March wasn't well liked. And widows who don't make a fuss are easy to forget. Evelyn steps over a fallen log. Behind her, Cade does the same. His boots are quiet in the snow, quieter than they should be for a man his size. He moves like someone who's learned to walk soft, like someone who's had to. "How long you been out here?" His voice startles her. First words he's spoken since they started walking. 6 years. You On the trail 5. 5 years. That's a long time to be drifting, long time to be alone. She wonders what he's running from. Then reminds herself it doesn't matter. He'll be gone tomorrow, just another stranger passing through her life like rain through a canyon. The cabin comes into view through the trees. It's small. One room with a loft. Log walls chinked with mud and moss. Stone chimney trailing thin smoke into gray sky. Not much to look at. But it's hers. Bought with 6 years of swallowing pride and biting tongue and learning to hate in silence. She's not giving it up. Not to those men. Not to anyone. Evelyn stops at the edge of the clearing, scans the area. No fresh tracks except hers from earlier when she ran. No signs of the riders doubling back. Good. Barn's out back, she says. You can stable your horse there. I'll get the fire going. Cade nods, moves off toward where his horse must be tied. Evelyn watches him go, studies the way he carries himself, shoulders back, head up, alert but not tense. He's been in danger before, knows what it looks like, knows what it feels like. That should worry her more than it does. Inside the cabin is cold. Fires burned down to embers. Evelyn feeds kindling into the stove, coaxing flames back to life. Her hands shake. Adrenaline wearing off, leaving her hollow. She braces against the counter, breathing slow, willing herself steady. You're alive. Those men are gone. You're alive. The door opens. Cade comes in, bringing cold air and snow with him. He stops at the threshold, doesn't enter, doesn't remove his coat. Just stands there, taking in the space. His eyes catalog everything. The rifle by the door, the table and 2 chairs, the narrow bed in the corner, the loft ladder leading up to darkness, the lack of photographs on walls, the lack of anything personal, a widow's house, stripped bare of memory. Evelyn knows what it looks like because she made it look that way on purpose. Burned every photograph of Thomas the day after she buried him, gave away his clothes, his boots, his pipe. Everything that proved he existed, everything except what she couldn't destroy. The gold, the journal, the wedding ring he took from some woman he killed. Evidence. Coffee. She manages to keep her voice steady. Cade finally steps inside, closes the door, still doesn't remove his coat. Yeah. She pours from the pot on the stove. It's old coffee, bitter and thick, but it's hot. She puts 2 cups on the table, sits in her usual chair, the one facing the door. Cade takes the other chair. Doesn't sit right away. Stands behind it, hands on the back, looking at her. Those men who came after you, what did they want? I told you, gold. From a robbery. That's what they said. And your husband stole it. They think he did. Did he? Evelyn meets his eyes, holds his gaze. My husband died of pneumonia 3 months ago. There was no gold, no robbery, just winter sickness. That's your story. That's the truth. Cade's quiet for a long moment. Then he sits, wraps both hands around the coffee cup, doesn't drink, just holds it, letting heat soak into cold fingers. Truth's a funny thing out here, he says finally, especially for widows. Evelyn's stomach goes tight. What's that supposed to mean? Means I've seen enough frontier justice to know how it works. Husband dies. No witnesses. Wife says it was natural causes. Everyone nods and looks the other way. You calling me a liar? I'm saying I don't care. He lifts the cup, drinks, makes a face at the bitter taste but doesn't complain. Your business is your business, but those men think you have their gold. They'll be back, probably tomorrow like you said, and when they do your story about pneumonia, won't matter much. He's right. She knows he's right. But hearing him say it makes it real in a way her own thoughts haven't been able to. So what do? Leave, tonight. Ride to the nearest town. Tell the sheriff. Let the law handle it. The law won't help me. Why not? Because the law would ask questions, would want to see Thomas's body, would dig up the grave on the hill and find nothing but rocks, would tear apart her cabin looking for answers and find gold dust and a journal full of confessions and a ring that belonged to someone Thomas murdered. The law would hang her or lock her away. Either way, she'd lose everything. I just need a few days, Evelyn says instead. Few days to figure out what to do, where to go, then I'll leave. I'll give them what they want. You do have the gold then? She doesn't answer, doesn't need to. Her silence says enough. Cade leans back in his chair, studies her with those cold blue eyes. Where is it? Doesn't matter. It does if I'm staying here. If those men come back and find it, they'll kill anyone in the cabin, including me. Fair point. Evelyn considers lying, considers telling him it's buried outside somewhere, in the woods, anywhere but the truth. But something about the way he's looking at her patient and waiting makes lying feel useless. He'll find out anyway. Men like him always do. Under the bedroom floor, hidden. They won't find it unless they tear the place apart. Which they will. I know. Silence settles between them. Fire crackles in the stove. Wind rattles the shutters. Somewhere in the loft, something creaks. Old wood settling. Or maybe not. Evelyn freezes. Cade's hand moves to his gun. You alone here? His voice drops to barely above whisper. Yes, she starts to say. Then remembers. Wait. She stands, moves to the loft ladder, looks up into darkness. It's safe now. You can come down. For a moment, nothing happens. Then a small face appears at the edge of the loft. A boy, maybe 7 years old, dark hair, serious eyes, too thin. He stares down at Cade with undisguised fear. It's all right, Evelyn says gently. He won't hurt you. The boy doesn't look convinced, but he climbs down anyway, slow and careful. When he reaches the floor, he positions himself behind Evelyn, using her as a shield between him and the stranger. Cade's hand stays near his gun, but his expression has changed, softened, just slightly. Who's this? His name is Samuel. Evelyn doesn't elaborate, doesn't explain how she found the boy 2 weeks ago stealing eggs from her henhouse, how he was half-starved and shaking from cold, how she should have turned him over to the sheriff but didn't, couldn't, because she knows what it's like to be alone and scared and certain nobody cares if you live or die. Where are his parents? Dead, Samuel says. His voice is small but steady. In the flood, last month. Cade's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. Pain, maybe, or recognition. What flood? South of here, big storm, washed out 3 homesteads. My folks were camped there, trying to stake a claim. The boy's reciting facts, keeping emotion locked down. Survival strategy. Evelyn recognizes it because she uses it herself. I was in town getting supplies. When I came back, they were gone. Everything was gone. Cade, what were their names? Your folks? Samuel, Nathan and Mary Hollis. They adopted me from an orphanage in Helena. About a year ago, I think. I was little. Don't remember much before that. Cade goes very still. His face drains of color. Cade carefully, Helena Orphanage. Do you remember which one? Samuel. No, sir. Just remember it was big and cold and the ladies were mean. But Nathan and Mary, they were kind. They wanted a son. His voice drops. Then the flood took them too. So you came here, Samuel nods. Didn't know where else to go. Cade looks at Evelyn, questions in his eyes. She can read them without him speaking. Why take in a strange child? Why risk it? Why not turn him over to someone official? She could explain. Could tell him about the loneliness of this cabin. About how it feels to wake up every morning in a house where someone died violently. About how having another person here, even a scared 7-year-old, makes the silence less suffocating. But she doesn't. Just meets Cade's gaze and waits for judgment. It doesn't come. He just nods. Looks back at Samuel. You got a last name, boy. Samuel hesitates. Then Hollis. The change in Cade is subtle but immediate. His whole body goes rigid. His hand drops from his gun, but only because his fingers have gone numb. His face drains of color. For 3 heartbeats, he doesn't breathe. Then very carefully, very quietly. What did you say your name was? Samuel Hollis. The boy shrinks back further behind Evelyn, sensing danger without understanding it. Why, what's wrong? Cade doesn't answer, can't answer. He's staring at the boy like he's seeing a ghost, like he's seeing something impossible made flesh. Evelyn watches this happen, watches Cade's careful composure crack, watches recognition and horror, and something that might be hope war across his face. Cade, she keeps her voice gentle. You know this boy. He stops, swallows hard, tries again. What's your father's name? Samuel's eyes fill with tears, but he blinks them back. Was. His name was Nathan Hollis. He died in the flood. Something in Cade breaks. Evelyn can see it happen. Can see the exact moment when whatever wall he's built around himself crumbles. He stands so fast his chair tips backward, hits the floor with a crash that makes Samuel jump. "You're lying." The words come out strangled, desperate. "You're lying. Nathan Hollis didn't die in any flood." "He did. I saw. I saw the water and the mud, and I couldn't find him and Mama, and I looked and looked and—" Cade crosses the room in 3 strides, drops to his knees in front of the boy, grabs his shoulders. Not rough, but firm, urgent. Look at me, Samuel." The boy does, tears spilling over now, scared and confused and too young to understand what's happening. "I'm your father," Cade says, voice breaking. "Your real father. Nathan wasn't. He couldn't have been because I'm. God, you have your mother's eyes." Samuel's world tilts. Evelyn can see it on his face, see every certainty he's built his life on start to crumble. You're not. My papa died. He died and I couldn't save him. Nathan wasn't your father. I am. Your mother. Anna Hollis. She was my wife. You're my son." The words hang in the air like smoke, thick and choking. Evelyn steps back, giving them space, giving this moment room to breathe. Samuel searches Cade's face, looking for truth, looking for lies, looking for any handhold in this sudden avalanche of impossible information. "Mama never said. She never told me about you." I know she didn't." Cade's hands are shaking now. "Because I left. Before you were born, I left and I shouldn't have, and I've been—" He can't finish, words failing. Instead, he pulls Samuel into his arms, holds him tight. The boy stays stiff at first, uncertain. Then slowly, incrementally, he relaxes. His small hands come up, clutch Cade's coat. His face presses into Cade's shoulder, and he starts to cry. Really cry, the kind of crying that comes from somewhere deep and broken. Evelyn turns away, gives them privacy. She walks to the window, stares out at falling snow and darkening sky. Her own eyes burn, but she doesn't let tears fall, can't afford to. Crying is a luxury she gave up the night she drove a knife into Thomas's chest. Behind her, father and son weep together, for time lost, for lies told, for a woman dead before her time. The cabin settles into night. Fire burns low. Evelyn should add wood, should make dinner, should do something useful. Instead, she stands at the window and wonders what fresh hell has just walked into her life. Because Cade isn't just a stranger passing through. He's a father who abandoned his son. A man with secrets deep enough to change his name. A man dangerous enough to drop someone with a rifle shot at 30 yards without hesitation. And somehow, impossibly, that abandoned son ended up here, in her cabin, 2 weeks before his father showed up. Coincidence doesn't cover it. Neither does luck. Something else is at work here. Something that feels like the universe playing a cruel joke. Bringing together 3 people who shouldn't know each other, tying their fates together with invisible strings. Evelyn doesn't believe in fate. Doesn't believe in divine plans or cosmic justice or any of the things the preacher used to drone about in church before she stopped going. But she believes in consequences. Believes that everything you do ripples outward. Touches other lives in ways you can't predict. Thomas killed Cade's wife. Cade came hunting Thomas. Thomas died before Cade arrived. Cade's son somehow ended up with Thomas's widow. The pattern is there. She just doesn't understand it yet. Outside, full dark has fallen. Snow still falls. Somewhere in the distance, a wolf howls. Lonely sound, mournful. Evelyn feels it in her bones. Eventually, the crying stops. She hears Cade speak. Low murmur too quiet to make out words. Samuel responds. Same low murmur. They're talking, trying to bridge years of absence with minutes of awkward conversation. Evelyn turns from the window. Both of them look up at her. Cade's face is raw, stripped of all pretense. Samuel's eyes are red and swollen, but there's something new there, something that might be hope. You knew, Cade says. Not accusing, just stating fact. You knew he was my son. No, I knew his name was Samuel Hollis. You never told me your last name, but you suspected. Did she, Evelyn, thinks back over the last 2 weeks? Samuel showing up, saying his parents died, saying his father went away and never came back. All those little details that didn't quite add up to the story he was telling. Maybe she suspected, or maybe she just didn't want to know. "It doesn't matter now," she says. "He's here, you're here, and tomorrow those men are coming back." Reality crashes in like cold water. Cade's expression hardens. The vulnerable father disappears. The dangerous stranger returns. "Right." He stands, still holding Samuel's hand. Protective gesture, claiming his son with touch. "We need a plan. I'm not leaving now, not when." He looks at Samuel. "Not when I just found him." Evelyn should argue, should tell him this isn't his fight, should send both of them away and face whatever's coming alone. But she's tired. So tired. And the thought of not being alone, of having someone else in this cabin when those men return, is too tempting to resist. "All right, we plan, but first," she moves to the cupboard, pulls down what little food she has. Dried venison, hard bread, some cheese going soft at the edges. "First we eat. Can't think on an empty stomach." They gather around the table, 3 people who shouldn't be together, sharing a meal in silence. Outside wind picks up. Snow drives against the windows. Temperature dropping. Going to be a cold night. Samuel eats quickly, hungry in the way only children can be. Cade picks at his food, eyes distant, mind clearly elsewhere. Evelyn doesn't eat at all, just sips cold coffee and watches them both. "You should sleep," she tells Samuel when he's done. "Up in the loft. Take the warm blankets." "But I want to." "No arguments. Adults need to talk. Boring adult stuff. Go on." Samuel looks at Cade, seeking permission from this new father he just met. Cade nods. "Do what she says. I'll be here when you wake up. Promise. Promise." The boy climbs the ladder slowly, disappears into darkness above. They wait until they hear him settling, blankets rustling, then silence. Evelyn leans forward, keeps her voice low. "Those men, the ones who came after me, they'll bring more tomorrow." "How many more?" "I don't know. 6, 7 maybe. Enough to burn me out if I don't give them what they want." "The gold." "Yes." Where did it really come from? Here it is, the question she's been avoiding. The truth she hasn't spoken out loud to anyone. But Cade just told his deepest secret, confessed abandoning his son, confessed years of running. Maybe it's only fair she do the same. "My husband stole it, Thomas March. He was an outlaw. I didn't know, not at first. But I figured it out eventually." Cade goes very still. "Thomas March. You know the name. I knew the man." His voice has gone flat. "Dead. Rode with him 5 years ago, before I went straight. Before Anna." Evelyn's blood turns to ice water. "You were partners." "For 2 years. Then I quit. Told Thomas I was done. Going to settle down. Make an honest living." "What happened?" Cade's silent for a long time. When he speaks, his voice is barely above whisper. "Thomas didn't take it well. Said I was soft. Said I'd regret it. I didn't listen. Thought he was just talking. But he wasn't. No, he came to my house 6 months after I left. Anna was there alone. He wanted money I'd saved from our jobs, money I'd hidden. She wouldn't tell him where it was." Evelyn already knows how this story ends. Can see it in the way Cade's hands clench into fists, in the way his jaw works. "He killed her," she says. "Shot her 3 times, left her bleeding on our bedroom floor, took the money, $10,000. And he took," Cade reaches into his coat pocket, pulls something out, sets it on the table between them. A photograph. Woman holding a baby. Both smiling. "That's Anna and Samuel, 3 months old." Evelyn looks at the photograph, at the woman's face. Pretty, kind eyes. Happy. Everything Evelyn isn't and will never be. "I'm sorry." Thomas left them both there. Anna dead. Samuel crying in his crib. "I came home and found them. Found her. And I knew. Knew it was Thomas. Knew what he'd done." "Is that why you're here?" You tracked him. "For 7 years. Every town, every territory, every goddamn trail between here and hell. Always one step behind." He picks up the photograph, tucks it carefully back in his pocket, over his heart. "Then I heard he died. Montana Territory. Pneumonia. I came to make sure, to spit on his grave." The pieces click together in Evelyn's mind, but there's no grave. "No, there's you, his widow, living in his house, and you just told me he was an outlaw." Evelyn's hand moves toward the rifle leaning against the wall, just in case. Just because Cade's eyes have gone cold in a way that makes her skin crawl. "He's dead," she says. "However it happened. He's dead and gone. How did it happen? Does it matter?" Yes. She weighs her options. Truth or lies, safety or honesty. In the end, she's already lost so much. What's one more secret surrendered? "I killed him 3 months ago. He came home drunk and violent. Started hitting me. Worse than usual. I thought he'd kill me this time. Really kill me, so I—" She stops, swallows. "I defended myself." Cade's expression doesn't change. "Where's the body?" "Under the bedroom floor, wrapped in canvas. Hidden. You didn't bury him proper. I couldn't risk it. Couldn't risk anyone asking questions, so I told everyone it was pneumonia. Buried rocks in a coffin on the hill, and I kept the truth buried in my house." Silence stretches between them, heavy with implications, with shared violence, with the ghost of a man who hurt them both in different ways. Finally, Cade speaks. "Good." Evelyn blinks. "What?" "I said good. Thomas March deserved to die. Should have happened 2 years ago when he shot Anna. Should have been me who did it. But since I couldn't—" He looks at her, really looks at her, seeing past the fear and the lies to something underneath. "I'm glad it was you." Relief floods through Evelyn so sudden and strong her hands shake. She grips the table edge, holds on. "I need to check something," Cade says abruptly. He stands, moves toward the bedroom. "Wait, what are you—" But he's already through the door. Evelyn follows, finds him kneeling by the bed, pulling up the loose floorboard she showed him earlier, reaching into the dark space beneath. "Don't," she says, but it's too late. He pulls out the cloth-wrapped bundle, sets it on the floor, unwraps it slowly. Gold dust glitters in lamplight. Thomas's journal lies beneath it, leather-bound, pages filled with confessions and names and dates, evidence of a dozen crimes, and beneath that, a ring. Cade picks it up, holds it to the light. His hand shakes. "Where did you get this?" "It was with the gold. I don't know who it belonged to. Thomas never said." Cade's face has gone white as winter snow. "I do." He turns the ring over, shows her the inside. They're engraved in tiny letters, A+C forever. Anna and Cade. "This is my wife's wedding ring," he says, voice hollow. "Dead. Thomas took it off her finger after he killed her, kept it like a trophy." The room tilts. Evelyn grabs the doorframe to steady herself. "I didn't know. I swear I didn't know." "I believe you." He stands, still holding the ring, staring at it like it might disappear if he looks away. "But it doesn't change what this means." "What does it mean?" Cade finally looks up, meets her eyes, and what she sees there freezes her blood. "It means Thomas March had my wife's ring, which means he killed her like I thought, which means the woman I've been hunting for 2 years, the person responsible for Anna's death, is already dead, killed by his own wife. I didn't know about Anna, didn't know about you. I was just trying to survive." I know that." He closes his fist around the ring. "But here's what you don't know. Here's what I didn't tell you." He reaches into his coat again. This time he pulls out a badge. Tarnished silver, 5-pointed star. Deputy U.S. Marshal, Montana Territory. Evelyn's world collapses. "Your law," she whispers. "Was. I resigned 2 years ago, after Anna died. Couldn't do the job anymore. But technically," he looks at the badge, "technically, I never turned this in. Are you going to arrest me?" The question hangs between them. Everything balanced on his answer. Cade stares at the badge, at the ring, at her, measuring, weighing, making choices that will ripple outward in ways neither of them can predict. Finally, he puts both items in his pocket, turns toward the door. "Get some sleep, Evelyn March. We've got men coming at dawn, and right now that's a bigger problem than anything else." He walks out, leaves her standing in the bedroom, alone with the open floorboards and the scattered evidence of her dead husband's crimes. Evelyn sinks onto the bed, buries her face in her hands, doesn't cry, won't cry, but she thinks about the photograph of Anna, about the ring Cade put in his pocket, about the badge that makes him law and her a murderer, about the impossible tangle of fate that brought them all together in this small cabin in Montana Territory while snow falls and wolves howl and tomorrow promises violence. She should run, should grab what she can carry and disappear into the night. But Samuel's asleep in the loft, and Cade's out there somewhere. And those men are coming. Running won't save her now. Nothing will. Outside the wind picks up. Inside the fire burns low. And somewhere between exhaustion and fear, Evelyn finally sleeps. She dreams of hands wrapped around her throat, of Thomas's face above her twisted with rage, of blood on her hands that won't wash clean no matter how hard she scrubs. She dreams of a woman she never met, Anna Hollis, holding a baby, smiling at a camera, not knowing she has less than a year to live. She dreams of Cade finding the ring, over and over, the moment of recognition, the way his face went white, the sound of her own world ending, and she dreams of tomorrow, of men with guns, of fire and smoke, of the cabin burning, of Samuel crying, of Cade choosing law over mercy, of dying alone in the snow while somewhere in the distance wolves howl. She wakes in darkness, disoriented, heart pounding. It takes a moment to remember where she is, her cabin, her bed, her life hanging by a thread. Gray light seeps through the window, almost dawn. The men will be here soon. Evelyn rises, splashes cold water on her face from the basin. Her reflection in the small mirror looks like a stranger, bruised, exhausted, haunted. She looks like a woman who's killed, like a woman who'll kill again if she has to. Good. She's going to need that before this day is done. Outside she finds Cade already awake. He's standing in the snow, looking south, toward where those men will come from. His rifle's in his hands. His face is set. Samuel's still asleep in the loft. They let him rest. Let him have a few more minutes of peace before the world catches fire. They'll be here within the hour, Cade says without turning around. I can see their campfire smoke. About 2 miles out. Evelyn nods, moves to stand beside him. They watch the horizon together, waiting for the storm. That ring, she says quietly. Anna's ring. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Not your fault. Still, he's quiet for a moment. Then, when this is over, when those men are dealt with, we'll talk about what happens next, about the gold, about Thomas, about all of it. And if we don't survive, Cade finally looks at her. Something in his eyes softens. Then I guess none of it matters anyway. Fair point. They stand together in the snow, waiting, ready. Behind them, the cabin door opens. Samuel emerges, rubbing sleep from his eyes. Papa, Miss Evelyn, what's happening? Cade turns, crosses to his son, kneels down so they're eye level. Remember what I said last night about being your father? Samuel nods. Well, a father protects his family, and right now, you're my family. So I need you to trust me. Can you do that? Another nod, more certain this time. Good boy. Cade glances at Evelyn. She understands. Moves toward the root cellar. Come on, Samuel. You're going to hide, just for a little while. Until the bad men go away. What bad men? The ones who are coming? But don't worry. Your papa and I will keep you safe. She hopes that's not a lie. She hopes they all survive this. But hope is a luxury. And luxuries don't last long in Montana Territory, not when men with guns come calling at dawn, not when blood debts come due, not when the past refuses to stay buried. The sun breaks over the eastern hills, cold light, no warmth in it. Evelyn March takes a breath, checks her rifle, looks at Cade. He nods. They're ready as they'll ever be. Dawn comes slow and cold. Light creeps across snow-covered ground like something reluctant, something that knows what daylight will bring. Evelyn stands at the window, watching, waiting. Her rifle leans against the wall beside her. Loaded, ready. Her hands are steady now. The shaking from yesterday has burned away, replaced by something harder, something that tastes like iron in her mouth. Behind her, Cade moves through the cabin with quiet efficiency, checking ammunition, testing the barricades he built across the windows during the night. He hasn't slept. Neither has she. Sleep is a luxury, and luxuries get you killed. Samuel's still in the root cellar. Safe. Hidden. They gave him blankets and water and told him not to make a sound no matter what he hears. The boy nodded, too young to understand, old enough to be afraid. The campfire smoke Cade spotted earlier has grown thicker, closer, maybe a mile out now. The men are coming, taking their time, confident. Why wouldn't they be 7 armed riders against a widow and whoever she's managed to hire? They don't know about Cade, don't know what he is, what he's done. The bodies he's left behind in his hunt for Thomas March, that might be enough. Might buy them the time they need, or it might not matter at all. We should talk. Cade's voice cuts through the silence. He's standing near the fireplace, face half in shadow. Before they get here, before everything goes to hell. Evelyn doesn't turn from the window. Talk about what you did, about how Thomas really died. Her stomach clenches. She knew this was coming. Knew it the moment Cade found Anna's ring, the moment his face went white and something in his eyes turned to stone. I told you. I defended myself. You told me you killed him. That's not the same as self-defense. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. Cade moves closer, not threatening, just present. Impossible to ignore. I need to know which one this was, Evelyn. Need to know the truth. Why, what difference does it make? He's dead either way. The difference is what happens after we deal with those men out there, after the smoke clears. He pauses, choosing words carefully. I was law once. Part of me still is. And the law cares about the difference between murder and self-defense. There it is, the threat wrapped in reasonable words, the reminder that Cade holds her fate in his hands. One conversation with a sheriff and everything she's built, everything she's survived turns to ash. Evelyn finally turns from the window, looks at him full on. You going to arrest me, Marshal? That depends on what you tell me. And if I don't tell you anything, then I'll assume the worst and act accordingly. They stare at each other across the small cabin, 2 people bound by violence, by the ghost of a man who hurt them both, by a scared boy hiding in the cellar, by choices that can't be unmade. Evelyn could lie, could spin a story about Thomas attacking her, about fear and desperation and no other choice. Cade might even believe it, might want to believe it, but she's tired of lies, tired of carrying the weight of them alone. All right, she says. You want the truth? I'll give you the truth, but you're not going to like it. I didn't expect to. She crosses to the table, sits, her hands flat on the scarred wood. Cade takes the chair across from her, the same position they were in last night. But everything's different now. The pretense is gone. Only bare truth remains. Thomas didn't die of pneumonia, Evelyn begins. Her voice is steady, clinical, like she's talking about someone else's life, someone else's choices. And he didn't die defending himself or in a fair fight or any of the other stories people tell to make killing sound noble. How did he die? I shot him 3 times while he slept. The words land like stones in still water, ripples spreading outward. Cade's expression doesn't change, but his hands tighten on the table edge, knuckles going white. Tell me everything, he says, so she does. Evelyn talks for a long time. The story pours out of her like poison from a wound. 6 years of marriage to a man who smiled pretty and hit hard. 6 years of learning to read his moods, to know when to speak and when to stay silent, when to run and when to endure. She tells Cade about the first time Thomas hit her, 3 months after the wedding. She'd burned dinner. He backhanded her across the mouth, split her lip, then apologized, brought her flowers the next day, promised it would never happen again. It happened again a week later, and again, until she stopped counting, stopped hoping, stopped believing there was any way out except death, his or hers. I thought about leaving, she says, staring at her hands, at the old scars on her knuckles. Thought about it every day. But where would I go? My family disowned me when I married Thomas, said he was no good, said I was making a mistake. I was too proud to admit they were right. So you stayed. So I stayed and I learned to be quiet, learned to disappear into the walls when he came home drunk, learned to clean blood out of fabric and hide bruises under long sleeves. She pauses, takes a breath. The next part is harder. Then 2 years ago, things changed. Thomas came home different, paranoid, jumpy. He'd wake up screaming in the night, talking about a woman who wouldn't stop screaming, about a baby that saw him. And Cade goes very still. Anna. I didn't know that then, didn't know he'd killed your wife, But I knew he'd done something bad, something worse than usual, and I knew he was scared. Thomas March wasn't scared of anything. He was scared of you. Evelyn meets his eyes. He never said your name, but he talked about a partner, someone who quit, someone he'd wronged, someone who would come looking for him eventually. Cade's jaw works, processing this, the knowledge that Thomas feared him, that his hunt wasn't in vain. Keep going, he says. Thomas started drinking more, getting meaner. He'd accuse me of hiding things, of conspiring against him. One night he pressed a knife to my throat, asked if I talked to anyone about his business. I said no. He didn't believe me. She touches her neck, the scar there, thin white line just below her jawbone. He cut me, not deep, just enough to draw blood, enough to make his point, said next time he'd finish the job. The cabin is silent except for wind outside. Fire, crackling low. Somewhere far off a crow calls. Harsh sound, mournless. I knew then, Evelyn continues, knew he'd kill me eventually. It was just a matter of when, so I started planning. Planning what? How to survive, how to make sure when the time came I'd be ready. She stands, walks to the bedroom, returns with something wrapped in cloth, sets it on the table, unwraps it. Thomas's revolver, the one he used to threaten her, the one she used to kill him. I started stealing ammunition, one bullet at a time. Thomas never counted, never noticed. Over 6 months I gathered 6 rounds. She picks up the gun, familiar weight, and I practiced. When he was gone, when I was alone, I'd stand in the bedroom and aim at the space where he slept, imagining pulling the trigger. Cade watches her hold the gun, watches the way her fingers curl around the grip like old lovers meeting. 3 months ago, Thomas came home with that gold, the stuff from the Helena mine. He was drunk, celebrating, said he'd finally gotten enough to disappear, start fresh somewhere else. Did he plan to take you? Evelyn laughs. Bitter sound. No, he told me he was leaving, going to California. Might send for me later. Probably wouldn't. Didn't matter either way, because I wasn't his problem anymore. What did you do? I congratulated him, made him dinner, poured his whiskey, smiled and played the good wife one last time. She sets the gun down. And when he passed out drunk in our bed, I got this gun, loaded all 6 bullets, stood over him. The memory is sharp, crystal clear. Thomas sprawled on his back, snoring, defenseless, the gun heavy in her hands, heart pounding so hard she thought it might break through her ribs. I could have left then, she says. Could have taken some money and run while he slept. He wouldn't have followed, wouldn't have cared. But I kept thinking about every time he hit me, every time he made me feel small and worthless, every threat, every cut, every moment of fear. And you shot him. 3 times, center mass, just like I'd practiced. Her voice doesn't waver. He woke up after the first shot, looked at me, didn't even look surprised, just resigned, like he'd always known it would end this way. What did he say? Nothing, just looked at me. Then I shot him twice more, and he stopped looking at anything at all. Silence falls heavy between them. Evelyn waits for judgment, for condemnation, for Cade to stand up and walk away in disgust. But he doesn't move, just sits there, thinking, processing. Finally, what did you do with the body? Wrapped it in canvas, buried it under the bedroom floor. The ground there was already dug up from where Thomas had hidden the gold. Easy to make it deeper, fit a body. She shrugs. Then I nailed the boards back down, moved the bed over it, and I went to town the next morning and told everyone Thomas died of pneumonia in the night. Anyone suspicious? No one cared enough to be suspicious. Thomas had no friends, no family that anyone knew about, just a wife everyone figured was better off without him. Cade leans back in his chair, studies her like she's a puzzle he's trying to solve. You planned it, premeditated. That's first-degree murder in any court. I know. They'd hang you. I know. And you're telling me this anyway. You asked for the truth. That's the truth. Evelyn meets his eyes, holds his gaze. I'm not sorry I killed him. I'd do it again. The only thing I regret is not doing it sooner. More silence, longer this time. Outside, the sun has fully risen. Gray light fills the cabin, no warmth in it, just cold illumination showing everything exactly as it is. Cade stands, walks to the window, looks out at the approaching threat. His back is to her, face unreadable. My wife, he says quietly. Anna, She was pregnant when Thomas killed her. Did you know that Evelyn's blood runs cold? No, Samuel never said. He doesn't know, was too young to understand. But Anna was 3 months along. We were going to name the baby Sarah if it was a girl, Michael if it was a boy. His hands clench into fists at his sides. Thomas didn't just kill my wife, he killed my unborn child, killed the future we were building, killed everything that mattered. He turns around, his eyes are wet, not crying, but close. I've spent 2 years hunting him, 2 years imagining what I'd do when I found him, how I'd make him suffer, make him understand what he took from me. He pauses. And you're telling me he's been dead for 3 months, that you killed him while he slept, that I'll never get the chance to look him in the eye and watch him realize what's coming. I'm sorry. Are you, or are you just sorry you got caught? Both. Evelyn doesn't flinch from the question. I'm sorry you didn't get your justice, but I'm not sorry he's dead, and I'm not sorry it was me who did it. Cade crosses back to the table, sits down again, puts his head in his hands. The weight of 2 years of hunting pressing down on him, the weight of answers that don't satisfy. Of revenge stolen. What do you want me to do? Evelyn asks. You want me to confess to the sheriff, turn myself in? I'll do it. After we deal with those men, after Samuel's safe, I'll do whatever you think is right. Will you? Cade looks up. Or is that just what you think I want to hear? It's the truth. You don't seem to have much trouble with lying when you need to. Fair point. Evelyn has no defense against that. They sit in silence. 2 killers, 2 people who've taken lives and carry the weight of it differently. Cade sought his killing, pursued it across territories. Evelyn's killing came from desperation, from survival, but in the end, dead is dead. The reasons don't resurrect the corpse. I don't know what to do, Cade admits finally. Part of me wants to drag you to the nearest sheriff, let the law decide. But the other part, what? The other part understands. Because if someone had killed Anna's murderer before I found him, I'd feel the same way you do, grateful, relieved, free. Something loosens in Evelyn's chest, not forgiveness, not absolution, but understanding. Maybe that's enough. So what now? She asks. Before Cade can answer, there's a sound outside. Hoofbeats, single rider, coming fast. Both of them are on their feet in an instant. Cade grabs his rifle. Evelyn grabs hers. They move to opposite windows, weapons ready. But the rider isn't the gang. It's a single man, riding hard. He pulls up short in front of the cabin, dismounts, ties his horse. He's tall, weathered, maybe 40, dressed in black. There's something familiar about him, something in the line of his jaw, the set of his shoulders. He knocks on the door, 3 sharp raps. Cade and Evelyn exchange glances. Neither moves to answer. Another knock. Then a voice, rough but not threatening. Mrs. March, I need to talk to you. It's about your husband. Evelyn's stomach drops. She crosses to the door, cracks it open, rifle ready but pointed down. The man standing on her porch looks like Thomas, older, harder, but the resemblance is unmistakable. Who are you? She demands. Name's Pike March. I'm Thomas's brother. The world tilts. Evelyn's grip tightens on her rifle. Behind her, Cade moves into position, ready to shoot if this goes wrong. Thomas never mentioned a brother, she says. Half-brother. We had different mothers, same worthless father. Pike's eyes are steady, calm. Not the eyes of a man planning violence. Can I come in? I promise I'm not here to hurt you. Why should I believe that? Because if I wanted you dead, you'd be dead already. I've been watching this cabin for 2 days. Could have shot you through the window any time. Truth or bluff, Evelyn can't tell. But something about Pike's demeanor suggests he's being honest. She opens the door wider, steps back. You can come in, but my friend here is going to keep his rifle on you. Try anything, and you're dead. Understand? Fair enough. Pike enters, removes his hat, nods to Cade in acknowledgement. Cade doesn't lower his weapon. You want coffee? Evelyn asks. Strange question, given the circumstances, but hospitality is ingrained deep, even when hosting your dead husband's secret brother. If you're offering, she pours 3 cups. They sit at the table, an awkward triangle. Pike sips his coffee, makes a face. This is terrible. It's old, best I've got. I've had worse. He sets the cup down, looks between them. So, you're the widow, and you're... He studies Cade. Cade Hollis, Thomas's old partner, the one who went straight. Cade's eyes narrow. How do you know my name? Thomas talked about you. Said you were the best writer he ever worked with. Said you were also a self-righteous son of a bitch who thought he was better than everyone else. Sounds like Thomas. It does. Pike's expression softens. He wasn't wrong, though. You were better. Better than him. Better than me. Better than any of us who rode that circuit. There's a story here. Evelyn can feel it. Something between these men. Something that predates her involvement. Why are you here? Cade asks. What do you want? I want to know if Thomas is really dead. The question hangs in the air. Direct. Simple. Dangerous. He is, Evelyn says. How do you know? Did you see the body? I buried it myself. Pike's eyes sharpen. Most widows don't bury their own husbands. Most get help, from neighbors, from town. I'm not most widows. No, I'm starting to see that. He leans back, crosses his arms. Here's what I know. 3 months ago, Thomas sends me a letter. Says he's got enough money to disappear. Start over. Asks if I want in. I write back yes. Never hear from him again. Maybe he changed his mind, Cade says. Maybe. Or maybe something happened to him. Pike looks at Evelyn. Your neighbors say he died of pneumonia, but there's no death certificate, no doctor's report, no grave marker. Just you saying he's dead and everyone accepting it because they're glad he's gone. Evelyn's pulse quickens. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that my brother was a lot of things, but he wasn't stupid. And he wasn't careless. If he really had money to run, he wouldn't have died of pneumonia conveniently before he could use it. People die all the time. They do, but usually not right before they're about to disappear with stolen gold. The cabin goes quiet. Only sound is wind outside. Fire crackling. The ticking of tension about to snap. You think I killed him? Evelyn says. I think someone did. Question is whether it was you or him. Pike nods toward Cade. Cade's got motive. Thomas killed his wife. That's blood debt. I'd have done the same. I didn't kill him, Cade says. Got here 2 days ago. Thomas was already dead. According to her, Pike's eyes never leave Evelyn, but we've only got her word for that. Her word and a story about pneumonia that doesn't hold water. Evelyn should be afraid. Should be calculating escape routes and defensive positions. But instead, she feels something else. Curiosity. Why does it matter to you? She asks. If Thomas is dead, why do you care how it happened? Pike is quiet for a long moment. When he speaks, his voice is different, softer, laced with something that might be grief. Because he was my brother, only family I had left. And because, he stops, swallows hard. Because Thomas killed his own mother when I was 12. The woman who raised me after my real mother died. Beat her to death right in front of me. I watched. Couldn't stop it. I was 12, he was 17, too big, too mean, too strong. The confession lands heavy. Cade and Evelyn both stare. I've hated him for 28 years, Pike continues. Hated him and loved him and couldn't figure out how to do both at the same time. And now you're telling me he's dead and I never got to make peace with it. Never got to ask him why he did it. Why he became what he became. His hands are shaking. He clasps them together, steadies himself. So yes, I want to know how he died. Want to know if it was quick or slow. Painful or peaceful. Want to know if he said anything. If he had regrets. Evelyn looks at this man. This stranger who shares blood with the monster she married. Who carries the same scars she does. Different shapes. Same source. She makes a decision. He died in his sleep, she lies. Pneumonia, like I said. Fever took him quick. He didn't suffer. Didn't say anything, just stopped breathing. Pike searches her face, looking for truth, for lies, for any crack in the story. Whatever he sees, it must satisfy him. He nods. Thank you. That what you came here for? Closure. Partly. Also came to warn you. About what? About the men who are coming. The ones camped a mile south. Thomas's old gang. They know he had money. They want it. And they're not going to be polite about asking. This matches what Evelyn already knows. But having it confirmed makes it real in a new way. How many? Cade asks. 7, well-armed, well-motivated, led by a woman named Magdalene Shaw. Ever hear of her? Evelyn shakes her head. Cade's expression darkens. I have, he says. Mag Shaw, Thomas's, what was she, lover, partner? Both. Pike's mouth twists. They rode together before Thomas married you. She took it hard when he left. Swore she'd get revenge someday. Looks like someday is today. Why tell us this? Evelyn asks. Why warn us you're Thomas's brother? You should be on their side. I told you I hated Thomas, but he was still family, and family means something, even when it shouldn't. Pike stands, puts his hat back on. Those men out there don't care about family, don't care about anything except money. They'll kill you. Kill anyone here. Burn this place to ash. We know. Do you really understand what's coming? He looks between them. Mag Shaw doesn't just want the gold. She wants blood, wants to hurt someone the way Thomas hurt her, and you're the convenient target. Evelyn's mind races, calculating, planning. What do you suggest? Give them the gold. Let them take it. Live to fight another day. And if we don't, Pike shrugs, then make peace with whatever god you believe in, because you're not surviving 7 armed riders, no matter how good you are. This last is directed at Cade. I've survived worse, Cade says. Maybe, but you didn't have a woman and a child to protect. Changes the math. How does Pike know about Samuel Evelyn's blood runs cold? He said he's been watching for 2 days. He must have seen the boy. Must know he's here somewhere. The child's safe, she says carefully. Hidden, not your concern. Everything's my concern if it affects whether you fight or run. Pike moves toward the door, stops, looks back. I'll give you 1 hour to decide. Then I'm riding back to town, washing my hands of this. Whatever happens after that is on you. He leaves, door closing behind him, hoofbeats fading into morning. What they don't see Pike riding back to his camp in the woods, dismounting, opening his saddlebag with shaking hands. Inside is a journal, leather-bound, worn, stained with old dirt and newer blood. Thomas's journal, the one Pike stole from the gold stash before Mag's gang arrived. The one he's been reading every night for 3 days. He opens to the last entry, Thomas's handwriting, shaky, desperate, written the night before he died. October 12, 1883. If someone finds this, know the truth. My wife is planning something. I see it in her eyes. The way she watches me when she thinks I'm not looking. The way she moves through the house like she's memorizing it, like she's saying goodbye. She found the gold yesterday. I know she did. I saw the dirt under her fingernails. Saw the way she flinched when I mentioned the bedroom floor. If I'm dead and she's alive, she killed me. Don't let her get away with it. Don't let her walk free with my money. Make her pay. The real fortune is buried where I always said I'd end up, under the gravesite on the hill. The unmarked one. 10,000 from Cade's stash. It's yours if you make this right. Blood for blood, that's the marchway. Thomas. Pike closes the journal slowly. His hands are shaking, not with fear, with rage. The pneumonia story was a lie, just like he suspected, just like he knew in his gut. Evelyn March murdered his brother in cold blood. Premeditated. Planned. And she's been living free in Thomas's house, sleeping in Thomas's bed, spending Thomas's money for 3 months, while Pike mourned, while he tried to make peace with a death that never happened the way she said. No more. He mounts his horse, rides toward the nearest town where he knows men, outlaws, killers, men who'll ride for gold, men who'll help him get justice, or revenge. Same thing now. Evelyn and Cade sit in silence, processing. Finally, Cade speaks. Evelyn and Cade sit in silence, processing. Finally, Cade speaks. He's right. We can't fight 7 riders and win, not with Samuel here, not with the odds that bad. So we give them the gold. Is that what you want? Evelyn thinks about the gold under her floor. Blood money, stolen from a mine, from men who worked honest jobs. It's not hers, never was. Thomas stole it, and now she's stuck with the consequences. I want to survive, she says. Want Samuel to survive. If giving them the gold does that, then yes, that's what I want. And after, when they have the gold and leave, then we figure out what comes next. Together. She looks at Cade. If you still want to turn me in after this, I understand, but until then we've got bigger problems. Cade nods slowly. Agreed. They spend the next hour preparing, moving the gold from under the floor to the barn, making it easy to find, easy to take, removing any reason for Mag Shaw and her men to search the cabin. to find Samuel. Samuel, who's been quiet this whole time, hidden in the root cellar like they told him. Good boy. Brave boy. Evelyn checks on him once, opens the cellar door just enough to whisper down, "You all right?" "Yes, ma'am. I'm scared, but I'm all right." "Good. Stay quiet. This will be over soon." "Promise." She wants to promise, wants to tell him everything will be fine, but she's done with lies, done with false comfort. "I'm going to try my best. That's all I can promise." "Okay, that's enough." She closes the door, locks it from outside, one more layer of protection between the boy and whatever's coming. When she returns to the cabin, Cade's at the window, watching. "They're here," he says. Evelyn joins him, looks out. 7 riders emerge from the tree line, spread out, professional formation. They stop 50 yards from the cabin, far enough to be safe from rifle fire. Close enough to be a threat. The rider in front is a woman. Even from this distance, Evelyn can tell she's beautiful. Dark hair, fine features. But there's something hard about her, something that speaks to violence barely contained. Magdalene Shaw. She raises her hand, signals. One of the riders dismounts, walks forward, carrying something white, a flag of truce. "They want to talk," Cade says. "Or it's a trap." Probably both. They watch the rider approach. He's young, maybe 20. Nervous. This isn't his first fight, but it's probably not his 100th either. He stops 10 feet from the cabin. "My boss wants to parley, says she'll talk terms. No violence, just talk." Cade looks at Evelyn. "Your call." She thinks about Pike's warning, about the gold in the barn, about Samuel hidden below their feet, about choices that can't be unmade. "Tell her to come alone," she calls back. "She can bring 1 man, no more, and if they try anything, we shoot first." The young rider nods, runs back to the group. There's a brief discussion, then Mag Shaw dismounts, says something to her men. They stay put. She walks forward. Alone. Bold move. Evelyn respects that even as she distrusts it. Mag stops at the porch, looks up at the cabin, at Evelyn visible through the window. "I'm here," she calls. "Can we talk like civilized people, or do I need to stand in the snow?" Evelyn opens the door, rifle ready. "You can come in, but my friend's gun stays on you. Try anything, and you die first." "Fair enough." Mag enters, and up close she's even more striking, beautiful in a dangerous way, like a blade catching light. She's wearing Thomas's old coat. Evelyn recognizes it immediately, the tear in the right sleeve, the missing button. Seeing another woman wearing her dead husband's clothes should make her angry. Instead, she feels nothing. "Nice place," Mag says, looking around. "Cozy. Bet it's lonely, though. Big cabin for 1 woman." 2, Cade corrects, still holding his rifle, still aimed at Mag's chest. Mag turns, sees him fully for the first time. Her eyes widen. "Cade Hollis." "Well, this is a surprise." Mag. "Didn't know you were keeping company with Thomas's widow. That must make for interesting conversation." "We manage." She smiles. "Cold thing, no warmth in it. I bet you do." To Evelyn, "You know who I am." "I can guess." "Then you know why I'm here." "The gold." "Very good. Smart widow, I like that." Mag sits at the table, uninvited, making herself comfortable. "Here's how this is going to work. You give me the gold Thomas stole, all of it. In return, I ride away. Leave you alone. Everyone lives. And if we don't, then my men burn this cabin to the ground, with you in it, after they've done other things, less pleasant things." She glances at Cade. "Even him won't save you, not against 7. Evelyn's jaw clenches. "The gold's in the barn. Take it. Leave." Mag blinks, surprised. "Just like that, no negotiation. It's not mine. Never was. It's blood money. You want it, it's yours." Something flickers across Mag's face. Suspicion, maybe, or disappointment, like she was hoping for a fight. "Why make it so easy?" she asks. "Because I'm tired. Tired of running. Tired of hiding. Tired of paying for Thomas's sins." Evelyn leans against the wall. "You loved him. Fine. Take what he left behind. I don't want it." Mag's expression hardens. "I didn't love him. No. I needed him. There's a difference." "Is there?" "Yes." Mag stands, paces, agitated now. "Thomas was my way out of poverty, out of desperation, out of a life I didn't choose. He promised me things, a ranch, security, a future. And then he left you, and then he married you. The bitterness in Meg's voice is sharp enough to cut. Rode off one day, came back married, said you were what he needed, someone respectable, someone who wouldn't ask questions. Evelyn almost laughs. Respectable. Is that what Thomas thought? How wrong he was. I'm sorry he hurt you, she says, and means it. But I didn't know about you, didn't know he'd made promises. Would it have mattered if you did? Probably not. I was young, stupid, thought I could fix him. And did you? No, he died the same bastard he lived. Mag stares at her, really looks at her, at the fading bruises, the scar on her neck, the hardness in her eyes that comes from surviving things that should have killed you. He hit you. Not a question. A statement. Yes. Often? Enough. Mag nods slowly, understanding passing between them. Two women damaged by the same man, standing on opposite sides of a conflict neither chose. I would have left him, Mag says quietly. If he'd lived, if he'd come back, I would have taken the gold and left him. Because I finally understood. He didn't love me, didn't love you, didn't love anyone except himself. What changed your mind? He came to me 6 months ago, drunk, rambling about money he'd stolen, about killing someone, a woman with a baby. She glances at Cade. Your wife, I'm guessing. Cade's face is stone. Keep talking. He was scared, really scared. Said someone would come for him. Said he needed to disappear fast. I helped him plan it. Told him where to hide, how to cover his tracks. Mag's voice drops. And I told him to take me with him when he ran. But he didn't. No. He took the gold, came here to you, and 3 months later I hear he's dead. Pneumonia. Convenient. The cabin falls silent, everyone calculating, everyone weighing truth against lies. Finally, Mag speaks again. I don't believe he died of pneumonia. Why not? Evelyn's heart pounds, but she keeps her voice steady. Because I know him. Knew him. Thomas March didn't get sick, didn't die easy. Someone killed him. Her eyes bore into Evelyn. Was it you? The question hangs like a blade. Evelyn could lie, could maintain the story. But something about this moment feels like it requires truth, like anything less would be an insult. Yes, the admission shocks everyone, even Cade, even though he already knew. Mag stares at her. Why, because he was going to kill me, so I killed him first. Self-defense. Murder. Premeditated, I planned it, waited for my moment, shot him while he slept. Mag sits back down, slow, processing. And the body under the bedroom floor, where it's going to stay. Long silence. Then Mag starts laughing, quiet at first, then louder, bordering on hysterical. What's funny? Cade demands. All of it, all of this. Mag wipes her eyes. I spent 6 months planning revenge, planning to hurt the woman who took Thomas from me. And you? She looks at Evelyn. You already did what I wanted to do. Already killed the bastard. So take the gold and go. There's nothing else here for you. Isn't there? Mag's laughter fades. See, here's the thing. I don't actually want the gold. Evelyn's stomach drops. What? I want what taking the gold represents. I want to make Thomas's widow pay. Want to prove that I mattered. That he couldn't just throw me away and forget I existed. He's dead. Revenge won't change that. No, but it'll make me feel better. Mag stands. So, here's the real deal. I take the gold, and I take this cabin. And you leave. Walk away with nothing, just like I had to do. No. No. Mag's eyes flash. You're not in a position to negotiate. Neither are you. Cade steps forward, rifle still aimed. You came here for money. She's offering it. Take it and leave before this turns into something nobody walks away from. Mag considers, weighing options. Finally she nods. Fine, the gold. But I'm checking the barn myself. If it's not all there, if you've held anything back, the deal's off. It's all there. We'll see. Mag walks to the door, opens it, signals to her men. 3 of them approach. She leads them to the barn. Evelyn and Cade wait. Tense. Hoping this works. Hoping they've bet right. Minutes pass, feeling like hours. Finally Mag emerges, carrying a sack, heavy with gold. Her men carry more, loading it onto horses. She walks back to the cabin, stops at the door. It's all here, she admits. Every ounce. You kept your word. So leave, like you promised. I will. But first, she pulls something from her pocket, a photograph, old, creased. This was in the gold. I think it belongs to you. She hands it to Cade. He takes it, looks down. His face goes white. It's Anna, holding baby Samuel, the photograph he thought he lost, the photograph Thomas must have taken when he killed her. He kept trophies, Mag says quietly, of people he hurt, people he killed, your wife, others. I found a whole collection in his old hideout. This was among them. Cade's hands shake. He stares at Anna's face, at the son he abandoned, at the life Thomas destroyed. Thank you, he manages. Mag nods. Then to Evelyn, I hope you find peace, whatever that looks like. Same to you. Mag leaves, mounts her horse. The gang rides off, taking the gold, taking Thomas's last legacy, leaving silence behind. Evelyn and Cade stand in the doorway, watching them disappear into trees, into distance, into memory. When they're gone, truly gone, Evelyn lets out a breath she didn't know she was holding. It's over. Is it? Cade's still looking at the photograph. The gold's gone. Mag's gone. What else is there? Truth, justice, all the things I swore to uphold when I took this badge. He pulls it out. The marshal's badge he never turned in. It gleams in winter light. You going to arrest me? Evelyn asks. Tired of waiting, tired of uncertainty. Cade looks at the badge, at the photograph, at her. I don't know, he says honestly. Part of me wants to do the right thing, the lawful thing. But the other part, what? The other part thinks maybe you did the world a favor, maybe Thomas got what he deserved, maybe some sins are their own punishment and some killings are their own justice. He puts the badge back in his pocket. I'm not deciding today. Today we just survived. That's enough. Evelyn nods. It's not absolution, not forgiveness. But it's not condemnation either. It's something in between, something human. Samuel, she remembers suddenly. He's still in the cellar. They go to him together, open the door. The boy looks up, scared but trying to be brave. Is it safe? He asks. Yes, Cade says. It's safe now. He lifts Samuel out, holds him close, father and son reunited. Evelyn watches, something in her chest aching with an emotion she can't name. Inside the cabin, they sit around the table. 3 people bound by violence and survival. 3 people who shouldn't be together, but are anyway. What happens now? Samuel asks. Good question. What does happen now? Evelyn has no gold, no evidence, nothing to tie her to Thomas except a marriage license and a body under her floor. Cade has his son back, has answers about Anna's death, has a choice to make about justice versus mercy. Samuel has a father, has safety, has a chance at something better than the life that was taken from him. Now we rest, Evelyn says. Tomorrow we figure out the rest. Can I stay here? Samuel asks. With you and Papa. The question lands heavy, full of implication, full of hope. Cade looks at Evelyn. She looks back, neither knowing what to say. For tonight, Cade says finally, tonight you can stay. We'll talk about tomorrow when it comes. Samuel nods, content with that, content with tonight. They eat together. Simple meal, bread and cheese, what little Evelyn has left. But it's enough. Enough. As darkness falls, Samuel curls up in the loft, falls asleep quickly, the deep sleep of children who feel safe. Evelyn and Cade sit by the fire, not talking, just existing in the same space. Pike knew, Evelyn says eventually, about Thomas being dead, about me lying. He knew the whole time. Probably. And he let it go, warned us about Mag, helped us survive. Family's complicated. Is it? Yes. Cade stares into flames. You can hate someone and still mourn them. Can want them dead and still grieve when they are. Pike understood that. Maybe better than anyone. Evelyn thinks about Thomas, about 6 years of marriage, about the moment she pulled that trigger. Does she mourn him? No. Does she regret killing him? No. Does some small part of her wish things had been different, that he'd been a better man, that she'd been a different woman? Maybe. What will you do? She asks Cade. After this, after you decide about me. I don't know. Find a place for Samuel, somewhere safe, somewhere he can grow up normal. And you haven't thought that far ahead. They fall silent again. Fire crackling, wind outside, the cabin settling into night. Evelyn stands. You should take the bed. Samuel's in the loft. I'll sleep by the fire. That's not... It's fine. I've done it before. She makes a pallet from blankets, lies down. Exhaustion finally catching up. Her eyes close. Just before sleep takes her, she hears Cade speak. Thank you for keeping Samuel safe, for feeding him, for giving him somewhere to go when he had nothing. You don't need to thank me. I do, because you didn't have to do any of it. You could have turned him away, sent him to the sheriff, but you didn't. He reminded me of someone. Who? Me. When I was young, when I had nowhere to go and no one who cared. Silence. Then, good night, Evelyn March. Good night, Cade Hollis. Sleep comes, deep and dreamless. The first peaceful sleep Evelyn's had in 3 months. When she wakes, sun is streaming through windows. The fire's been rebuilt. Fresh coffee sits on the stove. Cade's at the table, writing something. Samuel sits across from him, drawing pictures on scraps of paper. Normal, domestic, strange. Morning, she says. Both look up. Morning, they echo. Evelyn pours coffee, joins them. What are you writing? A letter to the Helena mine, about their gold. You're returning it. Mag took it, but she should return it, or I should track her down and make her. Good luck with that. He smiles. Small thing. Doesn't quite reach his eyes. Yeah, well, can't hurt to try. They sit in comfortable silence, drinking coffee, Samuel humming while he draws. Through the window, Evelyn can see snow falling again. Gentle this time, not the violent storm from before, just quiet flakes drifting down. Winter's coming, long dark months ahead. But for now, in this moment, there's warmth, there's safety. There's something that almost feels like peace. It won't last. Nothing ever does. Cade will make his decision. Samuel will need answers. The world outside this cabin will intrude. But for now, for this morning, they're alive. They're together. They're survivors. And maybe that's enough. 3 days pass. Quiet days. Peaceful in a way that feels unearned. Evelyn wakes each morning expecting the other shoe to drop. Expecting Cade to announce he's turning her in. Expecting Mag to return with more men and more demands. Expecting the fragile peace they've built to shatter like ice under a boot heel. But nothing happens. Cade works on the cabin, fixing shutters that have hung crooked for 2 years, replacing boards in the porch that rotted through last spring. Simple repairs Thomas never bothered with. Simple kindnesses Evelyn doesn't know how to accept. Samuel follows him everywhere, shadow to substance. Learning to hammer nails straight. Learning to measure twice and cut once. Learning what it means to have a father who doesn't disappear. And Evelyn watches them both. Cooking meals, mending clothes, pretending this is normal, pretending they're a family instead of 3 damaged people held together by circumstance and shared trauma. On the 4th morning, she wakes to the smell of fresh bread, real bread, not the hard, dense stuff she bakes, but soft golden loaves that fill the cabin with warmth. Samuel's at the table, kneading dough. His small hands work the bread with surprising skill. Cade stands beside him, coaching, correcting, patient in ways Evelyn never knew men could be. Where'd you learn to bake? She asks. Cade doesn't look up from watching Samuel work. My mother, before she died. She ran a boarding house, made bread every morning, said it was the smell that made a house a home. Is that true? I don't know, but it's a nice thought. Samuel punches down the dough, giggles when it whooshes air. The sound is pure, untainted by everything he's seen, everything he's lost. Evelyn pours coffee, sits, watches. This moment feels fragile, like something that could vanish if she breathes wrong. We need to talk, Cade says eventually, still not looking at her. About what happens next. There it is, the conversation she's been dreading. All right. Not now, tonight, after Samuel's asleep. But we need to talk, decide things. I know. The day stretches long. Evelyn tries to focus on chores, on feeding chickens and checking traps and all the 100 small tasks that keep a homestead running. But her mind keeps circling back to tonight, to decisions, to consequences she can't escape. By evening, tension sits heavy in the cabin. Samuel feels it. He's quiet during dinner, picking at his food, glancing between the adults with worried eyes. Did I do something wrong? He asks finally. No, Cade says, quick, firm. You're perfect. The adults just need to discuss boring adult things. Nothing for you to worry about. You promise? I promise. But promises are wind. Evelyn knows this, has learned it hard. Still she nods, backs Cade's play, sends Samuel to the loft with reassurances she doesn't feel. When the boys' breathing evens into sleep, they take their positions. Evelyn by the fire, Cade at the table. Same places as always, like actors hitting their marks. I've decided, Cade says. No preamble, just fact. Evelyn's heart hammers. Decided what? About you, about Thomas, about all of it. She waits, hands folded in her lap, trying to look calm, trying not to show the terror crawling up her spine. I'm not turning you in. The words take a moment to land. When they do, relief floods through her so sudden and strong her vision blurs. Why not? Because the law's not always justice, and justice isn't always right. Cade leans back, tired lines deep around his eyes. Thomas March was a killer, a thief, a man who hurt everyone he touched. You ended that, ended him. Maybe that's wrong by law, but it's right by every measure that matters. So that's it, you just let me go. Not quite. He pulls out his marshal's badge, sets it on the table between them. I'm giving you a choice. Same choice Thomas never gave Anna, never gave you. What choice? You can stay here. Keep the cabin. Raise Samuel with me. Build something clean from all this blood and dirt. He pauses. Or you can leave. Take money, supplies, whatever you need. Start fresh somewhere. Thomas's name doesn't follow. I won't stop you, won't track you, won't tell anyone what you did. Evelyn stares at him. And Samuel stays with me either way. He's my son. I've already lost too many years. I'm not losing more. Fair, more than fair. But something in Evelyn's chest aches at the thought of leaving, of walking away from this cabin, from the boy who reminds her what innocence looks like, from Cade, who sees her crimes and chooses mercy anyway. What do you want me to do? She asks. That's not my choice. It's yours. Before she can answer, there's a sound outside. Hoofbeats. Multiple riders, coming fast. Cade's on his feet instantly, rifle in hand. Evelyn grabs hers. They move to opposite windows, weapons ready. Through the darkness, shapes emerge. 6 riders, maybe 7. Hard to tell in the dim moonlight. They stop 50 yards out, just like Mag's group did. But something's different this time. The formation's wrong, too aggressive, too ready for violence. A voice calls out. Familiar. Pike March. Mrs. March, Mr. Hollis. We need to talk. Evelyn's blood runs cold. He came back. With friends. Cade's jaw clenches. This was always the plan. He played us, made us think he was on our side. But the gold's gone. Mag took it. What does he want? I don't know, but we're about to find out. Cade cracks the door open, calls back. What do you want, Pike? To finish what I started to make things right. The gold's gone. Magshaw took it. There's nothing left. I don't want the gold. Pike's voice carries clear across the snow. I want the truth. I want to know how my brother really died. Evelyn and Cade exchange glances. This doesn't make sense. Pike seemed satisfied with the pneumonia story, seemed ready to let it go, unless he wasn't, unless he's been planning this all along. We told you the truth, Evelyn shouts. He died of fever, quick and peaceful. You're lying. I know you're lying, and I'm going to prove it. The riders fan out, surrounding the cabin, cutting off escape routes. Cade moves fast, barricading the door, pushing furniture against windows, creating defensive positions. Get Samuel, he tells Evelyn. Get him to the root cellar now. She runs to the loft, shakes the boy awake. He's groggy, confused. What's happening? Bad men, like before, but worse. You need to hide, right now. But Papa said, I know what he said. Plans changed. Come on. She half carries, half drags him down the ladder, across the cabin, to the root cellar door. The riders are shouting outside now, making demands, giving ultimatums. Stay here, she tells Samuel. No matter what you hear, no matter what happens, you stay hidden. Understand? I'm scared. I know, me too. But your papa and I are going to keep you safe. I promise. She closes the door, locks it, prays it's enough. When she returns to the main room, Cade's at the window, rifle trained on the riders. They're spreading out, he reports. 2 at the barn, 3 covering the front, at least 1 circling around back. Professional setup. Pike's not working alone. This was coordinated. Yeah. Question is, who's he working with? Mag's gang left. So, who are these men? The answer comes in Pike's next shout. "You killed him! I know you did! Thomas told me in his letters he was afraid of you, afraid you'd snap, and you proved him right." Evelyn's mind races. Letters. Pike said Thomas sent him letters about having enough money to run, about being scared. What if there were more letters? What if Thomas wrote about Evelyn, about their fights, about his plans to leave her? What if Pike's been reading those letters for 3 months, building a picture of what really happened? He knows, she says. Knows what? That I killed Thomas. He's known since before Mag came. Maybe he's been working with her this whole time. Maybe they planned this together. Then why wait? Why not just attack with Mag's group? Good question. Unless he wanted the gold gone first, wanted it out of the equation. So this could be about what it's really about, which is revenge, not for money, for blood. Outside Pike's voice again. Different now, calmer, more dangerous. "I'm going to give you one chance to come out. Confess what you did, face judgment, otherwise we burn you out." "There's a child in here," Cade shouts back. "A boy, 7 years old. You want to burn him too." Silence. Then send the boy out. "We'll keep him safe. This is between adults." Not happening. "Then you're condemning him to die with you." More silence. Evelyn can hear movement outside, footsteps crunching through snow. The riders repositioning, getting ready. "We can't fight them all," she says. "Not and protect Samuel." "I know." "So what do we do?" Cade's quiet for a long moment, thinking, calculating odds. Finally he turns to her. "You take Samuel and run, out the back, through the woods. I'll hold them here. Buy you time." "No." "Evelyn, no, we're not doing that. We stay together, fight together, whatever happens." "You'll die." "Maybe, but I'm not running anymore. Not from this. Not from anything." She means it. Evelyn March has run her whole life. From her family. From Thomas, from consequences. She's done running. If this is her last stand, at least it's her choice. Cade searches her face, looking for doubt, for fear. He finds determination instead. "All right. Then we make them pay for every inch." "Agreed." "Agreed." They take positions. Evelyn at the front window, Cade at the back, rifles ready, waiting. Pike gives them 5 minutes. Then the attack begins. It starts with fire. Flaming arrows shot from the darkness. They stick in the cabin walls, in the roof, tiny points of light that grow and spread. Cade fires, takes down one archer, but there are more, always more. Evelyn shoots at muzzle flashes, hears someone scream. Hit or scared, she doesn't know. Doesn't care, just keeps firing. The cabin fills with smoke, the roof's burning, flames licking down the support beams, heat building. "We can't stay here," Cade shouts. "We have to move." "To where?" "The barn." "Better cover, stone foundation won't burn." "Samuel's in the cellar." "I'll get him." "You cover me." Cade runs for the cellar door. Evelyn lays down, suppressing fire, shooting at anything that moves. Her rifle clicks empty. She drops it. Grabs Thomas's old revolver, 6 shots. Has to make them count. Cade emerges with Samuel, the boy's crying, terrified. Cade holds him close, protecting him with his own body. "On 3, Cade yells. "We go for the barn. Stay low, stay fast. 1, 2, 3. They burst through the back door, into cold night air, into chaos. Bullets tear up snow around them. Evelyn fires back, drops one rider, wounds another. Her gun clicks empty. No time to reload, just run. They reach the barn. Slam inside. Cade barricades the door with anything heavy. Evelyn checks Samuel. He's unhurt. Scared, but unhurt. "Good boy," she tells him. "Brave boy, you're doing so good." Behind them the cabin burns, orange flames reaching for black sky. Everything Evelyn owns turning to ash. 6 years of life, gone. She should feel loss, should feel grief. Instead she feels nothing, just cold determination, just the will to survive one more minute, one more hour, one more breath. "How many bullets you got left?" Cade asks. "None." "You, 5, maybe 6. Not enough. Not nearly enough." Outside, the riders regroup. Pike's voice cuts through the crackling flames. "You can't run forever. You can't hide. This ends one way, with truth, with justice, with blood." "Your brother was a killer," Evelyn shouts back. "He beat your mother to death. You said so yourself. Why do you care how he died?" because he was still my brother. Because family matters even when it shouldn't. Because I deserved to be the one. I deserved to kill him, and you stole that from me. The truth lands like a fist. Pike didn't want the gold, didn't want revenge for Thomas's sake. He wanted the kill, wanted to be the one to end Thomas March. And Evelyn beat him to it. This was never about justice. It was about a brother's twisted need to be the executioner, to claim that final act of violence as his own. "I'm sorry," Evelyn calls. "I'm sorry you didn't get what you needed, but he's dead either way. Let it go." "I can't. Don't you understand? I've been planning it for years, tracking him, waiting for the right moment. And you just shot him in his sleep like it was nothing, like he was nothing. He was nothing. He was a monster who hurt people. I did the world a favor. You did it for yourself, not for justice, not for the people he hurt, for yourself." Pike's right. Evelyn killed Thomas to survive, to be free, not for some higher purpose, not for justice, for selfish, desperate survival. But maybe that's okay. Maybe survival is reason enough. "What do you want from me?" she screams into the night. "What do you want me to say? I want you to suffer the way I've suffered, the way everyone Thomas touched has suffered. I want you to know what it's like to lose everything." A new voice cuts in. Female. Familiar. Magdalene Shaw. "Pike, this is madness. We got the gold. We won. Let them go, Major." She came back, or maybe she never left. Maybe this was all orchestrated. The peaceful surrender, the gold exchange, all of it designed to lower their guard. "Stay out of this, Mag," Pike yells. "This isn't about money anymore. Then what's it about revenge for a man who left both of us, who hurt everyone he claimed to love? It's about finishing what I started, what I've been planning since I was 12 years old." There's a struggle outside, voices arguing. Pike and Mag fighting about something, the other riders uncertain, caught between competing orders. Evelyn uses the distraction, reloads her revolver with shaking hands. 6 bullets. Last 6 bullets in the world that matter. Beside her, Cade does the same. His face is grim. He knows what she knows. They're not getting out of this, not both of them. Maybe not any of them. "Listen to me," he says quietly. To her, to Samuel. "When the shooting starts again, I'm going out there. Going to draw their fire. When they're focused on me, you two run. Head north. There's a settlement called Timber Ridge, 20 miles. You can make it." "Cade, no." Not a discussion, not a debate. It's what's happening. He looks at Samuel. "I need you to be brave. One more time. Can you do that?" Samuel nods, tears streaming down his face. "I don't want you to go." "I know. But sometimes daddies have to do hard things to keep their boys safe. You understand?" "No." "You will. Someday, when you're older, you'll understand." He kisses Samuel's forehead, holds him close, then gently pushes him toward Evelyn. "Take care of him, please. Don't do this. We can find another way." There is no other way. We both know that. Evelyn wants to argue, wants to find the magic words that change this outcome, but there are no magic words, just hard choices and harder consequences. "Thank you," she says instead, "for everything, for Samuel, for believing me, for choosing mercy. Thank me by living, by getting my son somewhere safe, by giving him the life I couldn't." Before she can respond, the barn door explodes inward. 3 riders, guns drawn, Pike leading. Everything happens at once. Cade fires, drops the first rider, takes a bullet to the shoulder, keeps shooting, drops the second. Pike aims at Cade. Evelyn screams, shoots, misses, her hand shaking too much. Then a small figure launches from behind her. Samuel, moving faster than thought, faster than reason. He has a knife, the one from the root cellar, the one she told him to take for emergencies. He drives it into Pike's leg, not a killing blow, just desperate, just a child trying to save his father. Pike roars, spins, backhands Samuel across the face. The boy goes down hard, doesn't move. Something in Evelyn breaks. She doesn't think, doesn't aim, just fires again and again, emptying the revolver into Pike March's chest. He staggers, looks down at the blood spreading across his shirt, looks up at her with something like surprise. Then he falls. The barn goes silent, smoke drifting, Pike's blood pooling on the dirt floor. Then footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming from the barn's back entrance that no one's watching. Everyone freezes. A figure emerges from the shadows, limping, leaning on a makeshift cane. His face is a nightmare of scars, burns covering the left side. But the eyes are unmistakable. Thomas March, alive. Evelyn's gun falls from her hand, hits the floor with a dull thud. The world stops. Sound drains away. She can't breathe, can't think, can't process what she's seeing. "No," she whispers. "No, you're dead. I killed you. I buried you." Thomas smiles. It's a twisted thing, made grotesque by the scar tissue pulling at his mouth. "You buried someone, not me." He steps into the lamplight. The damage is worse than she thought. Burns and cuts crisscrossing his face. His left hand is mangled, missing 2 fingers. His body moves wrong, broken in ways that never healed right. "Surprised?" he asks. Voice rough, damaged, like gravel scraping metal. Cade raises his rifle, one-handed, his other arm useless from the shoulder wound. "Stay back, Thomas." Cade Hollis. "Of course you're here. Always the hero, always showing up too late." Thomas's eyes find his. Cold. Dead. "You know what's funny? I came here for money. The gold I buried, but finding you here, that's a bonus. Get to finish what I started 7 years ago." "The gold's gone," Evelyn manages. Her voice sounds far away, disconnected. "Mag took it. Not the Helena gold, the other gold, the money I took from Cade. $10,000, buried right where you thought my grave was." He laughs. Wet sound, painful. "That unmarked grave on the hill, the one you walk past every day, dig 6 feet down. The money's there. Has been for 3 months, right under your feet." The truth crashes over Evelyn like ice water. The grave, the mound of dirt she refused to mark, refused to visit. Thomas hid his stolen money there. Waiting. "How?" She can barely form words. "How did you survive?" Thomas leans against a support beam, clearly in pain, clearly dying, but not dead, not yet. "After you shot me, I crawled. Made it to the road. A drifter found me. Old drunk named Carson. I paid him everything I had on me. Told him to trade clothes with me. Put on my wedding ring. Sleep in my bed." Horror dawns on Evelyn's face. "You knew I'd come back. Knew I'd find the body. Think it was you. Smart woman. Stupid enough to shoot me in my sleep, but smart enough to hide the evidence." His eyes bore into hers. "Carson died of infection 3 days later. Same bed, same room, and you buried him thinking he was me. Told everyone pneumonia. Perfect." "Where have you been?" Cade demands. Gun still trained. Finger on trigger. "Recovering. Hiding. Watching. Saw Mag's gang come and go, saw Pike show up, saw everything." He pushes off the beam, takes a step toward Evelyn. "And now I'm here to collect what's mine. The money, the cabin, my life back." "You can't have it," Evelyn says, finding her voice, finding strength. "I killed you once, I'll do it again. With what your gun's empty." Thomas pulls out a revolver. Old. Familiar. The same one Evelyn used on him 3 months ago. "I dug this out of the ashes of your cabin. Still works. Ironic, don't you think?" He aims at Evelyn. Cade fires. But his shot goes wide, weakened by blood loss, by pain. The bullet hits wood. Splinters flying. Thomas's finger tightens on the trigger. Then a small shape launches from behind the hay bales. Samuel, the boy nobody's watching, moving on pure instinct, on desperate need to protect. The knife in his hand flashes, same knife he used on Pike, still covered in blood. He drives it into Thomas's leg, deep, hitting artery. Thomas screams, spins, the gun goes off, wild, hitting nothing but air. He grabs Samuel, throws him aside like a rag doll. The boy hits the wall, crumples, doesn't move. "You little bastard!" Thomas raises the gun, aims at the unconscious child. Evelyn moves without thinking, launches herself at Thomas. They crash to the ground, fighting for the gun, rolling through dirt and blood and ash. Thomas is stronger, meaner. He gets on top, presses the gun to her forehead. "Should have stayed dead," he hisses. Blood from his leg wound spreading, pooling. "Should have just taken your mercy and disappeared." "So should you," Evelyn spits back. She drives her thumb into his burned face, into the raw wounds. Thomas screams, jerks back. Evelyn grabs the gun. They struggle, fighting for control, for survival, for the right to live. The gun goes off. Once, twice, 3 times. Thomas goes still, eyes wide, shocked. Blood spreading across his chest in 3 familiar places, the same 3 places Evelyn shot him before. "This time," she whispers, "stay dead." Thomas March's eyes glaze over, his breath rattles out. Once, twice, then nothing. He's dead. For real this time. Evelyn pushes his body off, stands, shaking, covered in blood. Again, always blood. But it's over, finally, truly, over. She looks at the gun in her hand, Thomas's gun, the same one she used 3 months ago, the cycle complete. She drops it, lets it fall beside his corpse. Outside Mag's voice, "Pike, Pike." Outside Mag's voice, "Pike, Pike." She appears in the doorway, takes in the scene. Pike dead, Thomas dead, both brothers gone. Blood everywhere. "You killed them both," she says, flat, emotionless, looking at Pike, at Thomas. The March brothers, both dead in one night. "They were going to kill us." Evelyn's voice is steady despite the trembling in her hands. "I did what I had to do, both times." Mag kneels beside Pike, takes his hand. He's trying to speak, choking on blood. She leans close, listens. Whatever he says, it makes her close her eyes, nod, squeeze his hand. Then Pike March dies. Thomas's half-brother, the man who couldn't let go, the man who needed to be the executioner and became the executed instead. Mag stands, looks at Evelyn, at Cade clutching his shoulder, at Samuel unconscious on the ground. "My men are waiting outside," she says. "I could tell them to finish this, to burn this barn with you in it. Nobody would stop me." "Then do it. I'm done running, done fighting. If you're going to kill me, kill me. But let the boy go. He's innocent in all this." Mag's quiet for a long moment, weighing, deciding. "Pike was wrong," she says finally, "about a lot of things, but especially about revenge. It doesn't fix anything, doesn't bring anyone back, just makes more bodies, more orphans, more broken people." She walks to the door, stops, looks back. "I'm leaving, taking my men and the gold and disappearing. You'll never see me again. But if I hear you talked, if I hear you told anyone about us, I'll come back. And next time I won't be merciful. Understand?" "Understood." Mag nods. Then she's gone. Hoofbeats fading. Riders leaving. The threat finally, truly over. Evelyn runs to Samuel, checks his pulse. Steady, strong, just knocked out. There's a bruise forming on his cheek, but no serious damage. "He's okay," she tells Cade. "He's going to be okay." "Good. That's good." Cade's voice is weak. Blood soaking through his shirt. "Help me up. Need to stop the bleeding." She does. Gets him propped against the wall. Tears cloth into bandages. The bullet went through. Clean hole. Painful, but not fatal if they can stop the bleeding. "You're going to be fine," she says, working quickly, efficiently. "Both of you are going to be fine." Pike, dead. Cade closes his eyes. Good riddance. They sit in silence, the barn slowly filling with cold as the adrenaline fades. Samuel stirs, wakes, sees his father bleeding, and starts crying. "Papa, I'm okay, son. Just a scratch. Miss Evelyn's fixing me up. I stabbed that man. I hurt him. You saved me. That's what you did. You were so brave. But I hurt someone. Killed someone, maybe. No, I killed him, not you. That's my sin to carry, not yours." But Samuel's eyes say different. Say he understands. Say he knows what he did, what it means. The innocence Evelyn saw in him is gone, burned away in violence and desperation. The cycle continues, just like the outline predicted, just like violence always does, creating more victims, more killers, more broken souls. They spend the night in the barn, too exhausted to move, too traumatized to process, just sitting in the cold, keeping each other warm, keeping each other alive. Dawn comes eventually, gray light through cracks in the walls. The cabin is still smoldering, just blackened beams and ash now, everything Evelyn owned, gone. Cade's shoulder is infected, fever setting in. He needs a doctor, real medicine, things Evelyn doesn't have. "We need to get you to town," she says. "No town, no doctors. They'll ask questions. You'll die, maybe, but I won't hang, won't put you through that. Cade, promise me. If I die, you take Samuel, raise him, give him a good life, a better life than I could. You're not going to die. Promise me anyway. I promise." But she won't have to keep that promise, because 3 hours later, when they've managed to get Cade onto a horse and are preparing to ride for help, a wagon appears. Not raiders, not threats, just an old man in a battered wagon. He pulls up, takes in the burned cabin. The wounded man. The scared woman and boy. Name's Hartwell, he says. Doc Hartwell. Saw the smoke yesterday, came to help. Looks like I'm needed. He is, desperately. He cleans Cade's wound, gives him medicine, tells them the fever will break in a day or two. You folks had quite a night, he observes. Could say that, Evelyn agrees. Any of those bodies out there need burying. She thinks of Pike, of the 2 riders Cade shot, all dead, all needing graves. Yes, 3. I'll help. After your friend here is stable, Doc Hartwell stays for 2 days, tends Cade, helps bury the dead, asks no questions, makes no judgments, just does what needs doing. When he leaves, he refuses payment. You folks have been through enough, don't need my bill on top of it. Another kindness Evelyn doesn't know how to accept, but she takes it anyway, because kindness is rare, and refusing it would be wasteful. When he leaves, he refuses payment. You folks have been through enough. Don't need my bill on top of it. Another kindness Evelyn doesn't know how to accept, but she takes it anyway. A week passes. The cabin rises from ashes with help from neighbors who finally show up. Cade recovers slowly. Samuel stays quiet, marked by what he's seen, what he's done, but healing in small ways. On the 8th day, Cade makes his decision. I'm leaving tomorrow. Evelyn doesn't argue, knows it's coming. What about Samuel? He stays with you. You're good for him, better than I could be. He kneels beside the boy, gives him the pocket watch. You don't have to be broken just because you come from broken people. Choose better. Be better. Samuel nods through tears. Cade touches Evelyn's face. You deserve peace. Don't waste your life atoning for Thomas. He's not worth it. Then he rides north at dawn, doesn't look back. Evelyn and Samuel watch until he disappears. Spring comes, they plant a garden, work the earth, bet on future harvests. One morning a letter arrives, Cade's handwriting. Dear Evelyn, made it to California, found work. Think about you both every day. Maybe someday I'll be worthy of coming back, but not yet. Take care of each other. Be happy. Yours in absence. Cade. She reads it 3 times, folds it carefully, puts it with Samuel's drawings and Anna's photograph. Proof that people existed, that they mattered. That night she stands at the window. Thomas's grave on the hill now has a simple marker. Thomas March, 1845 to 1883. The earth holds what mercy could not. Pike rests beside him, brothers in death. In the loft Samuel sleeps, safe, alive. Tomorrow they'll work, live, exist. Building a family from loss. Choosing survival. And somewhere in California, Cade watches the sunset, wondering if someday he'll be brave enough to go back. But not today. Life continues, relentless, beautiful. And in Montana, Evelyn March and Samuel Hollis build tomorrow, one day at a time, until the past is just memory, until they're free. The end.